virtual box.
I see. I see.
That's,
Thank you so much.
yeah. All right, 6 o'clock. It's time to get on with our meeting. So let's go with I have the agenda here. Let's see. So the first order of business is yes, we have the business meeting, and we want to talk about the meeting time and see what people. We've already sent email out about this, but we want to talk about it in person because it's a lot. It's something we need to discuss before making any changes.
Right.
So
I think it came up because a lot of our regular in-person members couldn't make it on Fridays because they have conflict with dinner or whatnot. So
yeah, that's it. I mean, Dr. Bruce, he wanted, he may not be here tonight, but he wanted to, I mean, he is in favor of moving it to 10 a.m., on Saturday. And that's the proposal, is to move it to 10 a.m. on Saturday, which is what two of the clubs um, have done, or used to meet. I didn't do the introduction, so I'm Jim D'Annunzio, and I'm the current president of RSSC, Robotics Society of Southern California, and this is a joint meeting of the three clubs. The Riverside, along with us, is the Riverside Robotics Society, and also the Tech Room. And so we're deciding as a group of three clubs when to hold the meeting. So it's a kind of a larger decision than just one club. And so yes, the original reason was we don't know how many people aren't able to make it. And they might be being quiet about it. I don't know. So we're just trying to decide. I mean, honestly, I would personally, well, I guess I should stay kind of neutral because, but the proposal is out there, and we'd like to see what people think. Saturday morning, it may be more convenient, not interfering with, your dinner time or your Friday relaxation, whatever. Other people have said they like the Friday evening at the end of the week, and it's definitely, there's definitely two sides. So if anybody has any opinions, please let me know. I mean, you can speak up. And
well, for me, Friday nights has been pretty difficult to make. I sometimes had to have like two Zoom meetings going at the same time because I didn't want to miss this one, but I had to be in another meeting. So Saturday mornings would be great for me, but again, it's not up to me. It's a collective thing.
yeah, it's collective. Now, I think Thomas has said he likes Saturday mornings at 10, and I believe Forrest, who's representing the tech room, he seemed to be okay with that as well. So it's a matter of what the general consensus is from other people. Carl, you mentioned that you kind of like it on Friday, although that you could make it on Saturday. And
Okay, so in the chat we have
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't look.
yeah, Britt says she prefers Friday nights.
Where's the chat? There it is.
He says either is okay. Steve says he prefers Saturday mornings.
Steve.
Anybody else wants to chime in? Saturday for Nicholas.
It's funny. I was going to say you're asking everybody on Friday whether they prefer Friday or Saturday, but you're actually getting a lot of people on Friday who prefer Saturday. So that blows that argument.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, some people are not here. I don't, because it's that, but we sent email to the group and didn't get that many. I got a few responses, but that were pro Saturday, or that we hadn't heard from, people that don't come to this meeting, but really
Jim?
not many.
Jim,
Yeah.
Okay.
Riverside Club members said they were flexible either way so far. Ellie, can you chime in? Danny? Buzz?
I already said, Thomas, so I'm okay either.
Yes. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm okay either day.
Yeah. Danny?
Yeah, Buzz seems to be okay. And yeah, thank you.
So the marketing approach would be do an A/B test, which this may be too much, but you could do a couple sets of meetings, one on Friday and then one on Saturday, like alternate for
Yeah,
a month or two, and then see how it looks, in terms of attendance. I mean, I wouldn't do one meeting, because one meeting you might, we get between 10 and 30 people on a Friday. But
You mean, yeah, don't decide on one meeting. I mean, to do it. Yeah, I had thought about alternating. We could alternate at least once and then see how it goes, and then revert to just a single meeting time, right? And not alternate every month. That might get a little bit too weird. But yeah, if that's what people think, that's what your A/B is. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do it this one. It seems like Saturday might be okay. But what we can do is next meeting, we'll do it on Saturday and see what happens. And we have a count here of how many people are at this meeting, which is 17 right now.
So we can do like the first meeting will be on Friday nights and the second meeting on Saturday nights.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about doing the alternating, but I'm not sure if that's a good idea to do it every month. We should maybe decide on one time, so we could alternate, unless people are really okay with that. I think might be better. Well, at least we should try Saturday next month, and then we can. I mean, in 2 weeks we'll do it on Saturday, and then see if we can make a final decision at that point, whether to stay with Saturday or not, or really alternate, which I think is probably the
Hey, Jim,
I don't know. Yeah.
we've had those numbers go up and down. I mean, all along here, we've had highs of like 40 or something and lows of like 15. I mean, it's all over the map.
Yeah, although I haven't noticed it. Oh, have you noticed it that high? At 40, it seems like months since it's been that high, but
Maybe.
when Dr. Bruce would talk, he brought in a lot. He brought in like 30, I think, or something, but yeah, so we don't want to talk about this too much longer right now, but we got all these the people are responding in the chat. Yeah, the problem, if you alternate, it might kind of, people will forget, probably. So yeah, maybe we'll do it. We'll do that. We'll try next time on Saturday, and then we'll go from there. And I think that's good, because we'll see how many people will show up. If you could even alternate for a couple of months and then take a tally and whatever, but maybe not alternate forever. Okay. Well, is there anybody else want to say anything about it, or before we move on? If not, we'll go to the treasurer's report. So for RSSC only, this is, so we have some money in the bank, and we had some expenses. This is just 2020, but it looks like we're doing fine. We're higher balance at the end of 2020. Although most recently we've had our web page expenses for 2021, I think, Walter, right? I think that, yeah, but that's only $150 or $170 something,
Yeah, 159. Yeah.
159. So we're still, we're 900 something. We're basically back to the opening balance of 2020. So that that seems fine. We're not having a pizza party until, well, we don't know when the next one will, maybe the end of the year, but that would be good. What's that? Yeah.
That was my cameras.
Oh. And yeah, also I wanted to ask about with RSSC, when RSSC leads the meetings, we've been alternating. Each club will lead a meeting every third month, basically. 3 clubs, every third month each club gets to do it. And so with RSSC, we'd like to have lectures, 30 to 50 minute. I call it 30 to 50 minute, like university style. It's hard to find people to do the lectures. It takes preparation. Well, a lot of us are willing to do it. I'm willing to do them. Thomas has done, Alan has done, Dr. Bruce used to do them, but we'll have to see if he wants to do them again on Saturdays probably. And then there's if there's any topics, and yes, Sergey is also, he's has some talks that he could do. So, there's all these different topics, software engineering and mechanical, electrical, desktop fabrication. So if you have any particular requests, please send them to the list. Please email them or paste them in here in our chat, and we'll try to, we need some lead time to get those prepared or to find speakers. If you know of anybody who's an expert and willing to talk, we love guest lectures. So I particularly like the lectures that, they can be, when they're prepared, they can be very enlightening and enjoyable. So yeah, anybody who wants to volunteer. Yeah, this is different from show and tell. Show and tell, of course, is always going to be around, and that those are usually 10 to 15 minutes, or anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, under 20 though. And then these lectures are more kind of formal things, which is 30 to 50 minute, and it's with slides and then Q&A at the end usually, or maybe a couple in the middle, but it's like a lecture, as opposed to show and tell. Just to show and tell will always be around here for the shorter ones. Yeah, okay, I see some people talking about there's better use of daytime, walk outside than, well, for the Saturday meeting. I don't mind, at 10 a.m. I'm probably not ready to go do much outside, but a little, yeah, I go for a walk before, but yeah, so maybe, okay, people, I'll read all these later and I'll keep them, and we'll see if people like the alternating idea or not. All right, so yeah, anything about lectures, please email me or the group. And if you know anybody, if you have any ideas or you want to do one yourself, please let me know, and we'll schedule you in. And that's like, we just want to do one a month, really. That's all we're shooting for here, one lecture a month, at least with RSSC. And then the other groups, I think they'd be happy to host a speaker.
Yeah, and if I could just jump in with my little pep talk.
Please.
I know that there are many of us out there on this call who are doing really interesting things. The odd thing is like sometimes I don't know that something that I'm working on is especially interesting. I've noticed that from other members as well. They'll be working on something that's terribly interesting, but not realize that it may interest the other robot people in the club. I've always thought about the lecture of an extension of show and tell, where it's someone who has been making progress, working on something interesting, and wants to do a show and tell, but there's more detail than just a 5-minute spiel. And of course, preparation is key. Know in advance what you're talking about, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable with the subject and to communicate it. But for any of you who are already doing, show and tells, and it's supposed to be a 5-minute, ends up being 15, you might be a great candidate to jump in and grab one of the slots just to give you some more time to stretch your arms and legs and breathe and tell us more about whatever it is you're working on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of these projects people are working on could fill a lot more time. And although it helps to prepare ahead of time a lot. Like I try to film things that I do or write the slides up to make it different from a show and tell, more formal, more well organized. That's the difference in the presentation quality, so that you can keep the pace going as opposed to show and tell. And but any project is that you're working on is a candidate for that. Anyway, so anybody have anything else before, or I guess unless I'm forgetting anything, we will move on to show and tell. We don't have a speaker this month, or this week anyway.
Wait, hold on. I have one thing. Sometimes at the end of the meetings, I get a little off where I'm like wanting a little bit more, and then everyone's trying to close. And I was talking to Forrest on it because he was like, "I'm so sorry about everything." And I noticed that on, I think, the Meetup website, it shows 7:45 to close. And then I didn't realize that, I think the Google group or something says 7:30. So I think there's like an issue there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that one said 7:45, but
I think the problem is because the meetup is for the Riverside Club, and for the
yeah.
RSSC. So I don't know if Riverside is gonna be ending at 7:45, but the hours was at, we always aim for 7:30.
I'll have to
Yeah.
update that, guys. I
I mean,
worry about that, Britt. I didn't realize that I had scheduled it like that.
yeah, I mean, I guess if all three clubs agree then to one time, that's probably the best. But if the tech room is also happy with that, that's fine. We just don't want to go too late because of the, yeah, but we should all be on the same page. Otherwise it's confusing. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, 7:30 is good. All right. Yeah, so that seems fine with me. And then again, when each club is hosting their month, they can set the agenda. I mean, they will set the agenda and run the meeting, and so the meetings will vary. And that's good. That's part of the difference of the clubs. RSSC was sort of dominating for a lot of 2020, running the meeting, and so we're alternating now, and that gives people a rest too. Yeah. Well, yeah. Britt's saying people could stay on the line. I guess it's the only issues we have. We only have one host of the. If someone else wants to continue a after hours meeting, that's perfectly fine. If you can host the Zoom yourself. Zoom is free for I think 40 minutes or something, 50 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that, right? And you could continue on your own, and just all you need is a free Zoom account, and it's easy to. You could just publish. You could just paste the link in the chat. So if someone wants to host a after meeting, after hours, then that's perfectly, I mean, I think it's acceptable. It's just beyond, it'll be beyond the, this particular hosting. Hi, Barb.
Hey, Bob. Good to see you.
Yeah, you can, I mean, it's easy to get an account with Zoom. It's free. All right,
Hi,
well,
Bob.
Hey,
you're muted, Bob.
oh, am I?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, good to
Bob
see you as well.
Barbosa.
I have, Jim, I have one short announcement.
Yes. Yes, we'll do any announcements now. Any remaining announcements should go before we do show and tell.
Okay,
So you go ahead, you have the floor.
okay. I wanted everybody to know that the Mars Perseverance rover will be landing on Mars on the 18th of this month at 12:45 in the afternoon. And so I've been following it. I just did a big presentation about Mars and that rover 2 days ago at the VA hospital. A whole bunch of veterans came online and I did the presentation and I got special permission to invite those blind veterans to the event when the rover lands on Mars. And so the reason I haven't been at too many of your meetings is I've been heavily involved in that particular project, getting it ready, so kids can see it and everybody can see it. So if any of you are interested, I could put together a special email so you'd have all the right links and you could be there right when it lands on Mars. I mean, they really have it down to the minute in which it arrives. And given the fact that it's traveling at 17,000 miles an hour, that's just amazing. I wish I could get Uber to be that efficient. So
Yeah.
in any event, I've got that, and then I've got a brand new presentation for whenever it's the right time of brand new robots that we've produced since we've been on this lockdown for 52 weeks. And so, I got presentations that are backed up, but I've got beautiful, brand new submersible robots that are part of the Mars project of finding things underwater, both soil samples and rock samples and stuff like that. So, Jim, I could give you a little sneak preview on the side, maybe with a side email, and if you see fit, you might squeeze me in somewhere or wait till we all come back in person again. I don't know.
Well, no, we were just talking about speakers, and we for like a 30 to 50 minute once a month or whatever. So if you have a slightly, if you have a slightly longer one than a show and tell, then other than that, you could use the show and tell, obviously, if it's 20 minutes or less. That or we could schedule you in for a full 30 to 50 minute.
Well, I think I'd like to do that because my students have produced a video and they won the Robo Challenge national competition. They were the #1 kids in the whole country. And I can show you the robot that was used to win that contest and everything that it took for us to get those kids in that kind of shape.
No, that would be, I think that would be quite popular. And people would like to see that. So let's, you can, you could even do it, I mean, if you're ready in 2 weeks, because we don't have a speaker and RSSC will be hosting still. since
Yeah, I get my second coronavirus vaccine shot on the 19th, so I'll be alive in 2 weeks, hopefully.
yeah, so we're gonna we're gonna meet on Saturday morning next time.
Oh, that'll be terrific. Now I really can do it.
Yeah, see, yeah. We were discussing the meeting time change, and so we're gonna try Saturday next time, and then see how many people show up, and then all the opinions. Yeah, I've been getting the Mars Perseverance. I'm on their mailing list, and I'm a big fan. In fact, I have my what do you call it? The boarding pass.
Oh,
that I-
yeah, terrific, yeah.
My name went to Mars actually, along with a million other people. But it's like like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I signed my name, and it got engraved in a nanometer scale into an IC, and that IC got put on the rover and sent to Mars. And
Oh, boy,
it's kind of fun
yeah.
with every other
Well-
10-year-old that's doing it.
They gave me some real nice materials, first of all. And then the second thing is we had to do something special so our veterans that are blind could take advantage of this. And so that's what I've been working on, to make sure that they can take full advantage of this experience.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the veterans, which you've supported many times in the past.
Yeah, so our club would have done our third robot showcase at the VA, but the virus took us out. So the party's over for us. As far as going around our Christmas thing, we remember we used to go to the library every Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
That was fun.
yep. So we don't go anywhere anymore.
Well, not for a while, I guess, but especially the
Yeah.
veterans they need to be protected from
Yeah, yeah. So,
large populations. Okay, good. I see people talking about different things in the chat. If you want to, all right, yeah, Bob, we'll schedule you in for in 2 weeks on a Saturday morning. I'll send you it'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow, if that's good. And
okay. So what I'll do is I'll stay in touch with you, Jim, and we'll make this happen. Okay.
great.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself and then take off from there.
All right, yeah. So also, if anyone has any interesting robot news or videos, that you can use the show and tell for that. Your show and tell doesn't have to be your work. If it's really interesting video, short videos or something, that's a good good idea. We don't really do a segment of robots in the news like Riverside does, but we can still do something like that by individuals. So I guess we should move into show and tell. And I think Britt is on the list, as well as Walter. And I have something fairly small. If there's anyone else that it's hard to scroll up the list, I'm just gonna put it down here. Britt will go first, and then Walter, and then anybody else before me. I can go whenever. And then, okay, Thomas, you go then. I can go last if there's time. Oh, and Alan, yeah, we haven't heard about, well, we were just seeing a little bit about Todd earlier. But yeah, I'd like to see that. And okay, so Alan and then Tim. Oh, the PI, I got, that's another thing we were all excited about, the Pico board. I bought 3 of them and they came in these little blister packs, something like this. They're $5 each with the headers to solder in. I like soldering, so I booted it up and it's pretty cool. I mean, it just uploaded flashed a small MicroPython kernel and it's working. And then it really seems like a cool machine. I have to, you know, we all need to spend more time, obviously, to but people have been posting about it. It's got really good libraries built in to access the hardware and the pins, the signals, all in MicroPython. So that's going to be kind of exciting. The Pico board, it's Raspberry Pi. It's their newest board, and I mean, you can find out the details. We don't have to list them all right now, but $4 only, and $1 for the headers here. They're selling out everywhere, and they're a nice, powerful microcontroller that you can do. You can do MicroPython or C code. I saw quickly you can find the examples to get it going for C or MicroPython.
I think I saw that Micro Center had them for like $1.50 or $1 or something.
Oh, did Micro Center do a sale?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like $1 something.
Oh my gosh, they probably sold out, or yeah, I didn't know that. But they're cheap enough that, and they're powerful enough that you could have them all over the house. You could use them to make all sorts of IoT devices. And yes, Tim is holding up the book, MicroPython, with the Raspberry Pi Pico.
Tim was suggesting he could talk about it for a show and tell.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, well, let's get on with it then. We'll start with, we'll do Britt, then Walter, then Thomas, and Tim, and I'll fit in there somewhere. Okay, so hey Britt, you there?
Yeah.
All right, take over. You have the floor.
Okay, cool. Let's
You
do
can
a screen
share.
share. Okay, so I always go back to the blank. I want to give an update on the last thing I was presenting on, the Internet Archive stuff. Apparently they didn't really like that I was, well, when they emailed me, they said, we do 1 billion URLs a day. Feel free to do as many as you want. So I was like, great. But I was running up where I had too many Google Sheet URLs or links to put in like every day. So I was hoping for something more automated. But they were like, why are you doing all these? And I was like, I need them. But they were like, stop doing the random emails. And I think they just blocked it, my account. And they're like, nope, no more. So no more, but it's okay. I probably got enough in like millions where it's something that I wouldn't have been able to do on my own, inserting them one by one. So hey, it was a learning experience. So there's like citizen science projects, more volunteering stuff where you can do different projects. But there's one that is related to more robotics, and I can't see easily from the screen share. This one. Let me kind of condense my screen a little so I could see better. 1 second. Okay, now I can see. So this is the one called Jerasim at home through Boink. I don't know how to pronounce it, B-O-I-N-C. I don't know. So what this one does is it does parallel logic control algorithms as applied to the design of logic control systems obtained by various heuristic methods. Okay, so this is like electrical engineering stuff where they create all these like circuit electronic designs, and it's kind of hard to see on all this, and it's translated Russian, but it's like, and what they do is they do this heuristics. When you look it up, it's a technique to solve a problem more quickly when classical methods are too slow. So this one does more like, they said they follow evolution. So they do survival of the fittest, and they run, people on their computers run the program, and they start out really tiny with just some very small logic ones, logic gates, logic control algorithms, but it got bigger and bigger. Like when I downloaded it, each one had to run for 70 days straight. That's enormous. And so you're like, why am I talking about this? But the thing is, these get put into, I think these are microcontrollers or something. They get put into circuits, and then they said that they use it for self-driving cars and stuff. So it's kind of for robots to know what to do. And what it does is when you download it, you're running all these logic gates, like hypothetical situations to find the ones that don't work, because like to eliminate the ones that don't work, because they're trying to find the ones that do work. And then when they do work, then they publish the ones that worked on the internet so that anyone can use them. Say it says control of nuclear power plants, missiles, satellites. All these things are very robotic. So, but it's more than that. Like I read it a lot in the forums. So it uses a lot of math and stuff that I'm not going to want to look at. But yeah, this is what the logic control looks like. And then they have, I guess, different views of the same thing. But yeah, they post them like this, and that's how it'll look like once someone finds one that works. And you never know whose computer is going to find the one that works, and maybe multiple computers are working on the same one because they're so big. But yeah, this is something that I thought was cool to share. Yep, that's it.
It's interesting. It's like very detailed research. I mean, very advanced research there. Okay. Okay. Next, we have Walter.
All right. So hello, everyone. I'm still on a artistic, what do you call it, path right now until I get back into robots. But let me show you something real quick. I want to share my screen. So let's see if I can do this. All right. Everybody see my screen?
Yep.
All right. All right. So continuing on the Star Wars thing, I've been building a lot of things related to Star Wars lately. This is a Tusken Raider. I didn't make the mask, but I am building other accessories for the different costumes and things like that. And I've been working with all kinds of materials and leather and all kinds of things, foam and different glue types, 3D printing different things, designing different things. But anyway, so I made this whole Tusken Raider costume recently, and it kind of looks like this. So this is the one that I finished. I had a lot of help, of course. I don't know how to sew, but somebody helped me how to sew. But I 3D printed some of the parts that you see here. And then immediately after that, so like I made some of the accessories that you see over here, and learn how to bleach and how to color different materials and the different. I spent a lot of time at Joann's Fabric. Let me just put it that way. I think all the old ladies in there are wondering, what the heck is this guy doing here? Buying all these materials and things like that. But I got invited to a fan film, Star Wars fan film. So we went to the desert, and we drove over there with the camera crew and directors and all that. And it was really beautiful out there. We filmed a little film there. This is Landers, California, and just show you a little bit more of what happened. These are so this is the whole costume that you see here out in the desert. So these are the desert people, right, in the Star Wars movies. If you remember from the very first movies to the latest shows that you see. And here's some of the scenes from the movie. So in the movie, which will come out soon probably on YouTube since it's a fan film. This is at nighttime. In the movie, I destroy a droid probe, one of the droid probes from the bad guys, right? And so I get captured by the stormtroopers, and here's some of the stormtroopers that you see here. And so here I am trying to get away from them, and they find me and they capture me. And here's some of they had really nice cameras. We had drones out there filming from the top as well. It was really beautiful photos and things that we were able to do out there. But anyway, so they capture me, and then they finally kill me. So it was a lot of fun, to say the least. We had a great time filming out there. But anyways, learning all kinds of things. So like this is 3D printed. You see the spear and all that. And I hate that I can still see the printed lines in there. So I need to fill those up. There's a lot of details that I'm now learning how to spot and how to fix by making all these costumes and things like that. Like the coloring is a little bit off. So today I fixed that. So I'm getting into the finer details of the artistic side of this project, which is really cool. And of course, I've been making a whole bunch of other, a lot of projects like this one here, and those kinds of things. So lots and lots of that kind of stuff. This guy here, right, at R2 with the legs. Anyways, just so you can see a little bit of some of the stuff that I'm doing, and yeah, just there's a lot of Star Wars shows coming up, so there's opportunities to get involved in them. I'm in their database, so who knows? Maybe you'll see one of this stuff one of these days on the real movies and shows. All right, that's all I got.
That's impressive, Walter, as usual.
Oh, thank you.
Very
Star Wars universe has absorbed you.
It has. Well, that's how it all started. When I was a kid, when I watched Star Wars, I wanted to build robots and droids, and that's what got me into it. And then I didn't really get into it again until September of 2019, when I got invited to an actual like Star Wars party type of thing. And then it all brought it back, and I said, man, I got to get back and building these things.
I see. So I have it reversed, right? You were a Star Wars guy, and that's why, then you became a robot guy.
Right, exactly,
So
exactly.
you've been on loan from the
Yeah,
Star Wars.
I went
Uh,
back, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm a big fan, although I haven't, as well of the movies and everything. But yeah, building stuff is a whole, it's a whole world that you've exposed us to that I didn't know anything about this whole culture.
yeah.
It's like a counterculture or a subculture, I guess is what you call it.
Yeah, I mean, those costumes take weeks to months to a year or two to make. It's not very easy. And a lot of the things, you got to order from many places, and most of it you have to make yourself, which is fun.
Right. We first saw this when we saw the R2D2 a couple of years ago. The first guy that was 3 years ago, maybe the first time we had
Yeah,
R2D2 at the club, and then we learned about the amount of effort that goes into the droid creation, years and thousands and
it's a
thousands of
lot.
dollars,
It's a
money and
lot of
time.
work.
Yeah,
It looks easy outside, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
and the costumes is similar too. Great. Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
thank
thank you. And then good luck on the movie making. That's really interesting.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
yeah. It's getting there. Very close.
On a side note, Alan and I are selling documents with a signature on it, so it's $20 a piece. If you guys want another.
Get in before I become famous, huh?
Absolutely,
Before?
yeah. All right.
Very cool.
All right. We'll move on to the next. Thomas, you're after Walter. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I just wanted to show you a servo that I got. So everybody's familiar with, oh, let me turn off my background. Otherwise, this is quite invisible, isn't it? Oh, there it goes. It pops up when it's in front. I could do like magic tricks. Look at that. Let me turn off the background.
Yeah, it's better.
There we go. I'll switch my camera too. Wait. There we go. Okay, so everybody's familiar with these standard servos. Generally, they don't put out too much power, but some of the more modern ones do. And then, of course, you've got your 805 BBs, standard high-tech servo. What's the rating on these? Anybody know the rating on the 805 BBs?
The published rating or what they're capable of? Because they're two wholly different numbers.
The published rating. What can you look that up for me, Alan?
For sure.
And can you convert it to kilogram centimeters?
Is that measured at 1 inch or 1 centimeter?
I'm sorry?
I'm teasing. The torque, was it measured at 1 inch or 1 centimeter? Some debate.
Yeah, this is, these are, what's it rated, Alan?
Hobby King's claiming 25 kilograms per something. Let me see if I can get more.
That's fine, 25 kilograms per centimeter. And then I came across these, and God knows what they really can do, because I bought a digital scale, hanging scale, and it's so inaccurate. It's hard to find an accurate hanging scale. So I got one of these here, and this is rated at 60 kilogram centimeters. And
Wow.
actually, when you put it next to the 805 BB, they're almost the same size. This one's slightly smaller by a millimeter or something. So I don't know whether you could use the same brackets or not.
Yeah, they're all standard.
So this is this is like double. The 60 is roughly double the torque of this. Of course, you lose the speed, generally speaking. You're trading but most of us don't need that much speed when we're moving robots around. most of us. And then I was at the Homebrew Robotics Club meeting, and they introduced me to a bigger servo motor, and I ordered one. And since I didn't want to wait for it to come to China, I ordered it from Amazon.com, and this arrived. It's pulse width modulation, and it's rated at 180 kilograms per centimeter. What's that in ounce inches, Alan? Do you have that website to convert it up? Or can you do it in your head, Alan?
Nope. Let's take a look. Let me see if I can do this.
1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds.
Yeah, 180 kilograms centimeters. What's that in ounce inches? Or foot pounds even?
I think you divide by 13.88. I have it posted on my wall in front of me.
Thomas, what did that large servo cost you?
That large servo came from Amazon.com, and that cost me, I'm looking at it right now, $56.99 with free shipping, and it's local.
Because that's using a very large DC motor user used for other props and stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at the size of that sucker. That's bigger than the servo itself. This servo. And it makes this one look downright miniature in comparison. So look that up, Alan. You got a number for us?
Yeah, so what was the number we have? Which is ounce inch?
180 kilogram centimeters. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. Alan, you still there?
Yeah, my Google Foo's failing me. Anyone else want to jump in?
I can look it up.
Ounce inches again? What was that?
180 kilogram centimeters. I think it's about 13. Is that right? That sounds too low.
180 kilogram centimeters?
Yes.
No. Yes, 180 kilogram centimeters. You got it. Yeah, exactly. 180. Can you see my screen? So that's 2,500 ounce inches.
Whoa.
2,500 roughly, rounding up. 2,500. And what's that in feet? And if you convert that to foot pounds, that's divided by what, 16 and divided by 12, right? Is that the math? 2,500 divided by 16 divided by 12. That's 13 foot pounds. And I figured that should help me lift a can of beer. And this is all about lifting cans of beer, isn't it? Or soda, if you may.
It is. And there was a great forum thread that I believe you were involved on that was trying to surmise from the published specs on a motor or a gear motor how much it would actually reliably be able to manipulate, and the differences between stall torque and max running torque, and if you have any speed requirements for the amount of mass you're moving. It was a neat discussion. Do you remember how that ended up?
Yeah, double it. Double the, if you want to support, if you want your arm to lift 1 kilogram, then have it rated for 2.
Okay, and then
1.5.
yeah, and
Well,
so
1.5 to 2. You want to be on the safe side, Jim, well, make it 2.
right, and where that comes from is when they talk about stall torque, that's not necessarily the maximum amount of force that it can exert. That's the amount of force that you're forcing the gear motor to exert for it to stop. So no motion is occurring when you are asking it to exert a force equal to its stall torque.
So yeah, 13 pounds. And also, these are also available at double that, 360 kilogram centimeters. or 26 foot-pounds of force, which is more than I can lift.
So this means holding out 26 pounds at 1 foot away from your, I mean, on a lever on your arm, basically.
Yes, on your arm. If you hold something in your hand, it could, in its hand, it can lift its gripper. It'll lift a maximum. Now this is the stall torque. So realistically, what you 3/4 of that. But still, you're talking, over 20 pounds.
It's not bad. That's impressive.
And the package isn't too small either. I mean, too large. And it's pulse width modulation. I'm going to stop the share. Stop share. There we go. It's pulse width modulation. So you just hook it up to any old servo, and you give it 12 volts. I'm not sure if it'll go to 24, but I know it goes to 12. I forget what the rating is. But these are 24. It will go to 24 volts. So that's probably where you get your 18 kilograms from, if you're running at 24. So these are the latest and greatest to come out of China. And I haven't tested it yet, but I will. Any questions? No questions.
Does that can do a continuous rotation?
Probably if you tweak something on it, you can open up the box. There's some screws there to open up the gearbox.
Well, you don't want to mess with that.
You could if you needed to. There's something else I wanted to show you. Oh, I wanted to show you. Remember old? Well, I don't think it'll turn on. Maybe you have to come back to me. Maybe. Oh, it's starting.
What was the cost again, Thomas?
This one, it was $56.99, and I think that you could find it cheaper outside of Amazon. I think they were going for $45 or something. And the the double the kilogram was, I think it was $80 or something.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
But just a few years ago, you couldn't touch this kind of torque for under $1,000.
Mm-mm.
So we're talking less than 1/10 the price for this much torque. If it's all true. Now I'm going to start measuring these things because, I'm guessing that it's okay, and it might come up with half of what it's rated. But, if it comes up with half of what it's rated, I'm happy. There was something else I wanted to show you.
So what you going to use it for, Thomas?
My life-size mannequin robots.
What you going to use it for? What function?
Elbows. Well, no, shoulders. This will be shoulders,
Okay,
not elbows. I'm going to
'cause
use,
that's a modified windshield wiper motor.
it looks like a modified windshield wiper motor.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had a good idea and they're making some cash off of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
No, it is not a windshield wiper motor.
what is it?
Yeah, this is just a hobby motor or industrial light duty type of motor. The problem with those is that the gearbox is not that strong actually. So the gears are not designed to withstand that full load. And by the way, you know what the stall torque is called? It is called burn torque.
Oh, burn torque. So at that many pounds, that many, at 26 pounds, the motor burns out. Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly correct. All electricity works on smoke,
Yeah, I know. It's the magic element that gets those motors and gears, not even the gears, but the circuits going. And I was trying to start my Jibo here. Jibo has had a new lease on life. Let me see if I can aim the camera around. There we go. Jibo, which he just died because his batteries. Then I just unplugged them. Who's next in the lineup? Why don't you come back for me and I'll give you a show on what Jibo can do.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, if you still have that working. Next we have, well, we're gonna do, Alan had a quick update on Todd. You wanna give us an update on, there it is.
Yeah, for sure. So after sitting out for a couple of months, Walter knows how to press my buttons to get me excited about projects. So I'm jumping back into the trio of quadrupeds. Todd was pretty much hardware complete, but he was a little challenging to do. So I'm using that really cool neon green filament. This is being printed on one of my printers. It's a 0.4 nozzle that I'm printing with a line width of 0.5, 2 perimeters, no infill, which gives it kind of a jewelly transparent look with a layer height of 250 microns. So I'm printing out some very slightly smaller knuckles. Here's the body over here. Here are a lot of pieces of the wiring harness on this side. The next step for them after I get these guys assembled is I need to, let me switch over to the model here, is let's get this guy. So I've separated out the pie holder from the rest of the frame. And as a result, the top of the frame only gets anchored at 2 points, right here and right here. Well, it's a bit of a tight fit. And even when things fit perfectly, the top frame tends to angle up a little bit. So I need to add in a couple of additional screw holes, one right there and one on the bottom and one on the bottom right there. And at that point, there's no place for it to expand or give. I think I'm also going to move this switch forward a little bit to give me a little bit more room for the buck down converter. And the wiring harness had a couple of scary points. You actually had to cut and then solder the battery management circuit board onto the battery, which is a little bit dicey. There are many ways to catch fire if you get that wrong. So it's not the greatest thing to do. So I'm going to introduce a bunch more connectors and make it more modular. I think I have just enough room to do that, as well as to maybe reintroduce a capacitor that was on the servo driver board, but then I took it off because there was no room. So I'm hoping to get this wiring harness updated this weekend. I'll have this done also this weekend, and then it becomes a software problem. Porting over everything to ROS 2. Our buddies up north have been participating in a ROS 2 conversion special interest group meetup on Sundays. And while my project really has nothing to do with their project, we cover a lot of the same topics. So I'll be attending that for a while because we have a lot of common ground. We're both trying to migrate packages from ROS 1 to ROS 2 and the types of things we run into when we do it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, or I think I emailed you about that that meetup. I haven't really, I didn't join it, and I figured, oh, it's probably way into it by now. But that's a good place to learn about ROS too. Sounds like.
Yeah, for sure. A big challenge right now, and I've given a couple of talks in the past where I talk about where ROS 2 isn't ready for prime time for various definitions of prime time. Eric and I had a great conversation earlier on in the evening about, hey, if I'm just getting into ROS, where do I start? Do I start by studying and learning, dead end ROS 1, which isn't a dead end, it's going to be around for like 10 years. Or do I jump into the unknown in ROS 2? And the thing is, there's no right answer. It's based on the problem you're trying to solve. And where I get frustrated on the ROS 2 side is there is a whole bunch of open source projects and libraries that I can leverage. It's the old adage, when you play by the ROS rules, you get to play with all the toys in the ROS toolkit. And a lot of those don't work plug and play style in ROS 2, which I found frustrating. But now I think it's an appropriate time for me to take some more time and migrate some of those packages over and make Todd kind of a learning project or a trainer for ROS 2. That's what's keeping me motivated, at least.
Great.
All right, thanks.
So Alan's like, I don't need that capacitor, just take it off.
Cutting corners, huh? All right, we have Tim. Tim next. Or you have, you there, Tim?
Yeah, I'm here. Well,
Yeah.
like you, I got hold of Raspberry Pi Pico. I bought 2 of them and a book. Haven't got into it yet, but here's what the board looks like. Here's the package it comes in originally. Where I got it from. I think I got them from Adafruit. Then I also ordered a book on how to work with it. Looks like it goes very basic, but got to start somewhere. So I'll start working with that. They have a little Pico display. It's really cool. You can actually put a small video camera on it, which is something I want to try and see where it goes from there. And also where I'm at work, as we've been working with the Arduino MRK Wi-Fi 101 board, which looks like this. I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know. It's hard to say for here, but there. Been doing a lot of stuff at work with it. It basically is a ARM Cortexa chip on there. It's got a 12-bit DAC and ADC, and it also has a DAC on it. So working on some stuff with that like that for work. So it's pretty cool. I've also been working with the Nexon display thing. It's a LCD type display, which has got a lot of brains on the display. It's got a whole user interface that you can design your screens all on an app and download it onto it with an SD card. And then the microprocessor you're talking to talks to it just through a serial port. So you can send things back and forth and do things, screens and stuff. It's pretty cool. So you can create all in custom screens, and you got buttons, dials, knobs, indicators, meters, all sorts of cool stuff you can do with it. Also, let's see, where am I at? I've been working with these miniature, I got a bunch of these little miniature Tesla coil kits I haven't put together yet. There's one there. It's a little miniature Tesla coil. Haven't assembled them yet, but I'm working on it. Unfortunately, it didn't come with much instructions on that. And also I'm working on this little bird character, trying to make a little animatronic bird character here. So that's what it looks like. This was printed on a resin printer. So that's what I'm working on at home. So I guess that's it for now. Any questions?
I just wanted to add that right now I just checked, and Micro Center has the Pico for one of them. If you just buy one, it's $1.99. If you buy 6 or more, $3.99 each.
Well, how about those off Adafruit for like $4 a piece?
Yeah, I spent $5 with the headers, but
All those came with the headers and everything. So I'm going to learn how to do some stuff with it. Should be pretty cool.
yeah,
I've played with the MicroPython, so give me some ideas to even work with Python. So I haven't done too much with the Raspberry Pi at all yet.
Well, I was using MicroPython for that tag contest back on the BBC Microbit, and so this is a lot better, I'm sure. Hardware as well as this. Hopefully the kernel, the MicroPython libraries and everything. But BBC Microbit is still pretty cool too. A little bit older now. All right, let's see.
Wait, I had a question.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What's the Tesla coil going to be used for?
Oh, I happen to be a Tesla coil or Tesla expert. I'm going to do some of those small scale experiments to transmit energy power wirelessly a little bit short range.
That's cool.
Tesla coil, basically what it is, it's was designed by Nikola Tesla at the turn of the century, and basically it's a transformer that actually takes and generates a high frequency, low current thing, which the electricity behaves totally different in those ranges than normal electricity. It almost behaves like water. So you can do some interesting things with it. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
You say, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks. Oh, and we want to go back to Thomas briefly for Jibo. Do you have him working, Thomas?
Yeah. So he went offline for a few months and the company almost closed and then they were bought out. But they say they're going to provide service for free for now.
Oh,
So right now it almost has as much capabilities as Alexa, never mind Alexa, or Siri. You can say such things as, hey Jibo, what's the weather like? Oh, you know what? He's on performance mode. We're going to show you performance mode first. I managed to install something that emulates an Android phone. It's called BlueStacks. Anybody familiar with BlueStacks? No, it lets you emulate an Android on your computer. Because he has no software compatible with my own iPhone, so I loaded this up. Anyway, I'm going to share my screen and show you what he's seeing. Okay, this is his viewpoint. Hey, Jibo. He's looking at me, obviously. I can steer him down. I can get him to say things. Can you hear that?
we didn't hear any.
Yeah, it's not very loud. Jibo. Hey, Jibo. Volume 10. Hey, Jibo. Louder.
I want pizza in my belly.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, yeah, just a little, just barely.
Try it again. So it's kind of canned, but it's good when you're interacting with people.
Want to dance?
The audio kind of cuts out.
Yeah, anyway, so you get the idea. He's almost, like I said, he almost does as much as Amazon, not Amazon, Alexa. No, not you. I have one in the room. Every time I say her name, she wants to know what I want. Get the news, the weather. Hey, Jibo, over here. He's
I like.
following sounds. Oh, I gotta turn off the performance mode. Just hold on.
Your audio cuts out occasionally. You know, I really like the ability to turn to you when you call its name. I mean, I'd like to achieve that with my robot. I mean, seems like it's kind of difficult.
It is.
I mean, I'm not sure if it's sound. I mean,
Hey,
yeah,
Jibo.
sound and as well as vision.
Hey, Jibo, what time is it?
7:15.
Hey, Jibo, what's the weather for tomorrow?
Your weather tomorrow. Like mostly cloudy throughout the day. I hope it's the white puffy kind of clouds. We'll see a high temp tomorrow of 62 and a low of 41.
Hey, Jibo, volume up. Hey, Jibo, volume up. Hey, Jibo, volume up. Hey, Jibo, look over here. I'm over here. Over here. So he followed my snapping finger.
Oh, so it's by sound. It is by sound, huh?
It's by sound. He's got microphones on the left and the right.
Oh, that's okay. That's something. Yeah, we could. I really like it. It's so much better in some ways because it has personality and it's got the movement going on over the standard Google and Amazon.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. The movement is really good. It's nice.
He keeps looking towards my TV. I mean, my monitor, because that's where the sound is. When you guys talk, he looks at you.
It's perfect.
Hey, Jibo, dance.
I thought you'd never ask.
Hey, Thomas. The last we had heard from you, they had discontinued everything about Jibo, and it was basically, I think it was the last in-person meeting we had, actually. You brought it. Did they contact you to let you know that they had been bought by someone else and then there was more software to download? Or how did you know to keep up with it and to...
I just keep checking online every few months.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, they didn't tell me anything.
Yeah, we all thought it was like over, like their servers were going down and everything.
I saw one on sale for like 300 or 400, and I said, "My God, I'm getting a great deal." And I found out the servers were down. Somebody knew something I didn't. Anyway, so this is it. Only yours.
Yeah, it really has personality, which is kind of what you'd think is
Over
what
here.
people are craving for personal robots like that.
Hey, Jibo. Hello. Every once in a while,
Hey, Thomas. Nice haircut. Just in case.
Yes, he can recognize my face. He has facial recognition. I trained it when I got it before it went offline. All right, that's it on Jibo. Any other questions?
I got one.
What's that?
When you say training, is that AI? Like deep learning and stuff?
Well, it's object recognition. So I suppose it's a type of AI, but the definition for AI changes every year. So maybe it is. I don't know if it's still AI. Voice recognition used to be considered AI too.
Yeah,
Anybody else want to chime in?
I mean, well, for this system, you just you ran through its UI, right? It actually has a mode where you train it.
That's right.
So it's not like we have to program. I mean, this is a consumer device, which is it's a black box to us how it's really working. Unlike these like models that you have to train, you're creating your own model for a TPU or something. This one is they're probably using something like that, but we don't know. What's nice is it's a consumer level product. You just go through the GUI and you're done.
Sorry about that. It's got iHeartRadio.
I'm kind of guessing it might be something like computer vision, where, computer vision's what recognizes objects.
Yeah, but usually it's AI. I mean, like I'm going to show right now some recognition stuff using AI models in the TPU using deep learning models. And that's generally for facial recognition, you can, you can do that as well. There's a lot you can do with regular OpenCV computer vision algorithms too, but
Tell me which one you want.
usually if it's training, then it's usually involving AI.
Like a neural network, right?
A neural network, yeah. All right, is that,
That's it then? Okay, thank you.
all right, thanks, Thomas. That's really cool. I mean, I'm glad Jibo is back. And I don't know if anybody else is, or it's worth trying to get one at this point, but they probably, yeah, there might be some pretty cheap ones in the market. I don't know. I'll have to take a look. All right, we've got a few minutes left and I'll show what I had. I guess one thing, let me share the screen. One thing I wanted to, I guess this is sort of an announcement from what's going on in the club, but the a few of us, 4 of us here, including Carl, who's logged in, and Brian. I don't know if he's connected tonight, but Brian, Justin, myself, and Carl have entered a contest, or we submitted anyway, for the Open CV AI competition, and this is a competition. We'll have to be selected from our idea. So we have to wait another week or two, a week and a half or something. And this contest is using this device. I'll show it in my camera. I actually have one. This is the Oak D AI kit. And it's a stereo AI camera. And it has stereo cameras on the side and then a color one in the middle. And this is the car, the Oak, that might be backwards. So this is an AI camera, and I bought one. It was a Kickstarter. This contest actually, you don't have to own one of these. In fact, if you get chosen, they'll give each member one of these for free. So if we do get selected, I'll have an extra, I guess. All right, the team name is the Social Distancers, and the idea was the idea that Brian came up with mainly is to try to create a robot that can ultimately navigate through the home, through a cluttered home, and find a person or find at least a place and try to deliver something, that sort of thing, in the home, to try to help keep people separated from each other. You know, it's the general idea. And so we'll see how that goes. Using depth vision to help with their object identification, obstacle and navigational surface, all this stuff here. And navigate through a cluttered house, usually using LiDAR, vision, and to help, because the LiDAR might not be at the right level. So we'll see if we get accepted to that, and we'll give you more details if we do. But that's a group of, that's the first joint project I've had the pleasure to be part of, or joint contest, I guess, like that. I have obviously been in a joint project with the SIG group of our group using the Slam Tech. So the other thing I want to show you is a brief video of a couple of videos, I guess, little short videos. What I did last time, I think, I don't know if the audio was good, but I had the big orange robot was able to identify objects using the Coral AI TPU, a board, and a desktop camera, web camera. So what I added to it was an identification procedure, I guess you call it, or feature, to identify insects, birds, and what was the other one? And a flower, or plants, through these models these are like the sample models. There's nothing, I haven't, these aren't like really great models, and I haven't made one myself, but this is but this system this TPU, you can create your own models and train them using TensorFlow Lite, for instance, and then you can convert them and upload them. So eventually, hopefully I can do that. But since they had some models there, I might as well throw them into the robot and see how it looks or how it feels. So here, oh, wait a minute. Let me stop screen share and start again, and then click on the optimize for video clip thingy. All right, so is this the right one? I can never tell. Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Now I've got a picture of a bird, which I have a model for. So I'm gonna ask the robot to identify it. Orange, identify this bird.
It looks like a Cooper's hawk.
The last time it said red shoulder, but you get the idea. Okay, here's another one where it has a learned model for insects. Orange, identify this insect.
It looks like a Polyphemus moth.
I'm gonna assume that's right. You can also do identify some plants.
So yeah, that, and I was gonna play this one.
Now I'd like to demonstrate the TPU board that I have, Coral's TPU, and it's right there, this little M2 board that I've got plugged into the Latte Panda.
So yeah, so that's how that little board, and those models run in the hardware, and they run really fast, much faster than any CPU. It's up to 30 times a second or something like that. It could be identifying things, and so it's cool. I mean, there's the other thing I just showed you, this OpenCV AI kit, the Oak. This is called the Oak D. It's an AI camera with all that circuitry built in, with essentially a TPU system in there. Whereas the one on my robot is like a do-it-yourself one, where you can plug it into a Windows device and take it from there, and then it's in Python. There's a Python library. Actually, both of these have Python. The OakD to work with these AI models, and but the OakD is well, it's also a programmer's. These are designed for engineers to embed or to bring into your system, and that board is the same thing, but the board is just a simple board, no camera. So you have to. So I wrote some Python to take the picture from the webcam and deliver it into that board and run the model on it, and then tied in with my robot's Python code for the speech recognition, all that stuff, command. So it's pretty neat to, you can now, yeah, this is the beginning of being able to tell a robot, ask a robot to do something visual. I haven't done that yet. So any questions? I have.
Yeah, Jim, this is Forrest. Quick question. You're using TensorFlow for the image recognition then?
Yeah, well, this is like a TensorFlow Lite. TensorFlow Lite is what they support on that Coral TPU.
Ah.
So if you can get a model, make your own model, your own deep learning model with TensorFlow Lite, then you can convert it to a form that the essentially compile it or to a form that that TPU board can use. And that TPU board is, I mean, I've shown it before on the, you know, at the meetings here, and but you can look it up, or it's very inexpensive. I mean, pretty inexpensive. The Coral. Now the USB ones are out of stock, but the other ones are available. So it's, can you see this? That this is their whole line of the products, that these different boards. Some of these are M2 style and some of them are USB. The USB ones are kind of out of stock right now, but they'll probably be back. And the prices are like, you know, $50, $60. And the one I bought was only like 39, or this dual one, the M2 with, I have the M2 accelerator with dual edge TPU. And that's $40, but you have to have,
okay.
you have to have a M2 socket, which I luckily had on my little Windows machine that runs my robot, the Latte Panda. So, but there's all these other products here you can check out that to fit your hardware. I mean, these are usually the if you have an M2, yes, these are available. But if you don't have M2, although most motherboards now have M2, I guess, but the USB one is the most convenient one. I think Alan and maybe Walter, or you guys already had purchased the USB one like a while ago. But there's one. Any other questions about that? I'm still, yeah, this is an ongoing project with the learning, getting more into the AI side of things. And, you know, I'd like to train my own model eventually if I, you know, for some purpose I haven't determined yet.
Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said TPU, you mean a tensor processing unit? That's the hardware?
Yes, that's the, you can, if you're looking at the my screen share here, these are the TPUs, the tensor processing units. And so it's specialized hardware that can run the learned models, the TensorFlow Lite model, extremely fast, like 30 times a second, 30 frames a second. That's the same type of implementation that's in these devices, like the Jevois camera and this Oak D device, as well as the what was it called, the Husky lens.
Yeah.
So I have all these AI cameras now, and you have one of these Husky lenses.
Yeah, I have that in the Jevois too.
And the Jevois, I didn't get into that. It seemed like it was kind of early in the game and pretty complex and difficult to use. But these other ones are really much easier to use, or at least the Husky. But like with the Husky lens, this one I don't.
Jim, you need to unshare your screen. I can't see what you're looking at.
Oh. Oh, you can see me in the other. There's two videos of me.
Yeah, but not. I can't look at it full size there. So.
Oh, yeah. So this Husky lens, this one's more integrated, and it's more turnkey. Although I haven't used it much, but it does things like recognize faces and objects. But these other, I'm using a more, and so these cameras like this one is a little less integrated. You have to do some more programming, and then that TPU board is pretty much all. It's even less. It's more like configurable to what you want to build it into your device, even more so. Although that's probably the same level as this one. This just comes with the camera built in. And well, this one comes with a camera built in the Husky lens, but there's a lot of, I don't think you can do much to the software to it. It's kind of more of a turnkey device. But anyway, one other thing I wanted to show, if there's Anybody talking about, oh. The AI, yeah,
Hey, Jim, I have a question for you.
yeah, go ahead.
In general, has anybody heard of any board centered voice recognition that, you know, that's as good as Siri or Alexa? Not you.
Okay, so here we go.
Sorry.
Now I've got a
You
picture
mean
of a bird.
Cortana?
Yeah, any that are, because I don't want to always connect to the internet for voice recognition, except I can't get good quality without it. Anybody have any suggestions?
Yeah, that's a good question. For voice recognition, it has not been easy to find a edge, what you call edge. The general term of edge computing is not using the cloud, using your local CPU and GPUs to do the work. And I mean, we've seen a little bit of that from Alan. Alan, you posted a few months ago some models that you could run on a kind of a beefy GPU, where you could do your own speech generation. Actually, that was speech synthesis. But for speech recognition, does anybody know of? There isn't much. It's not easy to get it local on your device. I haven't found it really yet.
When you say local, what do you mean? Because there's
Well, I'm
like
talking
these
about, what I
built-in-
mean is on the edge. We call edge computing. Edge computing is the term that means you could be disconnected from the internet, and that's what edge means. It's at the edge of, closest to you. A local means it's running on a CPU right in your hand,
Right,
whole
but what I'm saying is, are you looking for speech to text or more like, I think he was saying like the Siri and stuff? Because
That's speech recognition, right? Recognition. There's both of them. Recognition and synthesis is much easier to find. Like I have it, my robot's doing that using an old Windows SAPI, SAPI. So speech synthesis, although if you want a realistic speech synthesis that sounds like a real human, that requires a lot more power. But speech recognition, like to talk to the thing and have it understand you, that is very difficult on a local computer, right? I mean,
somehow I feel like these use the computer and the internet just to get like search results. I didn't know they used the internet for everything else, the recognition of voice recognition.
Yeah, well, like for my robot that you're hearing me talk to, that is using Google Assistant, actually not. It's Google Assistant is when you ask it like, what's the weather, but it's also using Google speech to text. So when you speak to it, your voice gets recorded by the microphone. It then gets, and then it's saved to a file and then uploaded to the cloud, at which point Google's systems do their magic and send you back the text.
Jim, is that Bing that's working with that?
No, this is, well, I use the Google.
All right, Google, not Amazon.
I use Google
Microsoft.
speech to text.
Microsoft is Bing.
Bing is Microsoft, yeah, which is like what your the thing you were using uses that, right? The Easy Robot stuff.
Easy Robot uses Bing, right? That's Microsoft. I forgot.
Which is another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s or 90s, I worked on a robot called Newton. It was basically a 286 on wheels. It had a TI voice recognition card. It was pretty damn good. I don't know if it's still available or not, but it worked pretty good once it was trained to your voice. You were like you're talking to a 3-year-old kid that did what you told it.
And
that was on inside the 286 computer, but it's standalone. You weren't going to the cloud. You weren't doing anything. It was a voice recognition.
Yeah. Now it is true. I guess I should back up a little bit. Even the SAPI, the speech API, it's called, on Windows, can handle simple speech recognition. For instance, on the first version of my Leaf robot, what we used to call it Leaf, Dr. Bruce's whole creation. The first version where I got the software from Alex, and I believe it was Alex and Gary, well, Gary and Alex, but it had a table of words that were the commands in a text file. And if you initialize the speech API with this list, then the system was knew to like expect you to say those words. And so even those simple commands that could be done with no internet and no cloud or no Amazon, I mean, no, just locally done. But you obviously you couldn't ask it like, what's the weather? And it's kind of limited. It's not a robust by any means speech recognition. It's kind of the old school where you give it like, it could be useful for a robot like this where you're just saying, go there. You know, if you're like giving it like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator type, sentences like get out, whatever, then that could be a simple speech recognition on your Windows, like a local one. But if you want to do more complex sentences, like the one I say, orange, go forward 2 meters at 30 degrees or something, that would get much harder without the cloud speech to text system, I guess.
I really see that advantage of not using the cloud because I feel like there's privacy issues with using cloud because that's what I heard was the issue with these.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an issue. And
well, this robot I worked on was called Newton. It was completely standalone, Jim. You didn't have to go to the cloud, do the thing. It all ran off the 286 computer that ran it. And right, it was pretty damn good voice recognition. Now you could train it to a vocabulary, yes, but again, also you could train it to recognize my voice and my voice only. Oh, it was completely standalone. It had nothing to do in the web, nothing to do with the thing. It was completely hardware. You plugged it in one of the card slots on the bus there, and away it went.
Yeah, that is cool. I mean,
that was a while back.
It's a while back. I mean, it's a very interesting question. Is like, why haven't I mean, maybe I haven't looked that well, but
again, a lot of things have advanced to the point, and again, now they want to do everything on the cloud thing, which again, to me, defeats the process of having a robot that's completely standalone, can do its own thing. Now, the only other way you could get around it now is to use parallel processing, use a whole bunch of latte pandas.
Yeah,
one for recognizing your voice, one for generating your voice, one for seeing, one for hearing, and then one master one to decide what to do with all the information it gets from the other ones. Parallel processing, you make a very crude brain that way. I'm surprised nobody's actually tried it, because I did do some research on Latte Panda. They do have things that can recognize your voice. You do have things that can recognize you who you are, camera. And so it's doable. It's just it's a little bit more hardware you need to do it. Well, I'm trying to say the stuff that I worked on in the past, it was pretty much standalone stuff. It was a card. It ran.
Oh yeah. I'm all for. Actually, I am all for standalone, and I'd like to, jettison the cloud if I could eventually. Maybe those types of things are a little bit harder to find now.
The card was made by Texas Instruments, so.
I guess the popularity of the cloud and these giant companies make it so very attractive to use. But like I said, my speech synthesis is on just local, but it sounds a little robotic. But I don't care.
The thing is, you want to do it in the cloud, but then again, you defeat the purpose. You have to be connected to the internet to do any of that stuff, see, hear, whatever. And to me, that is completely. When if you don't have an internet connection where your robot's at, all of a sudden robot can't hear, it's deaf, dumb, and stupid,
Yeah, I'm very with you on this, and I'd like to move in the direction of making things standalone, and that's
I
That's
haven't really
part-
gone out. I haven't really gone out and researched to see what's out there still. It might be some stuff out there. I don't know.
Yeah, if anybody has info on this, and there's a lot going on in the chat window, I'll read it all later, but please post to our group, the RSSC list, anything you find out, because I want to move things off of the cloud and into just edge. Like that board I just showed you, that's recognizing objects and being able to identify birds and whatever. That doesn't use the internet. That's just a local board and a local computer, local deep learning model. So if you can do that, then eventually you can do speech you should be able to do speech recognition with enough horsepower. I mean, and to the point where I guess, the main benefit of why I and Dr. Bruce, we use the Google is for the Google Assistant part, where you can ask the robot, what's the weather like? Then you do need the internet. And like, how old is Matt Damon or something, then the internet is a resource for that. But if you just want to say, robot, go do something or get me a beer, you don't need the internet. So it's like, how do you kind of have to, like, it just becomes convenient to just use the cloud for all of it. But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to say, for these sets of commands, don't use the internet. And then only if I say search the internet or something, then it goes and uses the cloud. That would be a one way to differentiate.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Does that sound good?
This sounds wonderful, Jim. When you figure it out, no.
Well, you guys are giving me ideas now. Now I want to separate it. So there's got to be a command lingo that you tell the robot, you're not accessing the internet unless I ask you to, basically,
You could have it query you back, Jim, and say, I don't know that. Do you want me to do a search on Google?
Yep. That's
Well, you still got to make some way, have hardware, software, something that recognizes your voice and commands or whatever, and whatever you want to ask it without having to go on the internet at all.
Yeah, no, but like I said, the SAPI does that. I mean, it's an old thing. It's it's not that great, but I'm sure there are better ones that are available.
I'm using SAPI for Simone and Betty Nine, and it sounds pretty good. SAPI's much improved over what it was.
Or I mean, even in recognition, SAPI can
recognition. SAPI, yeah, that's a different.
Yeah, SAPI can do recognition. I don't really know how great it is, but it functioned reasonably well for simple commands, two word, 3 word, or 4 word, whatever commands. So but I kind of gave it up because I wanted the whole integration with Assistant. And I'm sure there are better things than SAPI for recognition that run on your Windows machine. So that'll be my homework for the next few months.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about the wake words in the forum, so you could have one wake word for the local thing and another wake word for the internet or something.
Yeah, you could do that. You could just have it just say Google. Use the Google wake up word, and then it tells the user who you're really sending your info to. Like if you say Google, do you blah blah blah, then you're querying Google. And if you say Bing, then it sends it to Bing. It's kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And if you just say the name of the robot, then it doesn't go anywhere besides the robot, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
And all those popular dictation systems like Dragon that's going on in the chat and all that, those were 10 years ago. So those probably run on a Pico now.
Yeah.
Or something.
But yeah, I'm all about, I definitely want to do a lot of edge things and move to the edge. But one last thing that we're over time here. I guess I can leave this till next time. Yeah, I just spent a bunch of time upgrading my 3D printer with it's a Prusa printer. But yeah, this is not much. But you see the picture on the left was my MK2S printer that I bought from Prusa like 3 years ago. And I bought this upgrade kit to go to the 2.5S. And so I had to, but it's just a kind of a cool thing to do where your 3D printer, you use it to print the parts for the upgrade of the printer itself. So you're really kind of using the printer to upgrade itself. And all the black plastic parts I printed with the working printer before I disassembled it. And here's on the right side is the assembled one I just finished yesterday. And the amount of work is quite significant. Like you can see there's like 6 chapters here, and the hardest one is 66 steps of all this mechanical stuff and manipulating the parts, embedding nuts and bolts in various places, and little metallic spheres and electronics. And so this is like a nice escape from software, I'll tell you that much.
Hey,
But-
Jim, is your filament detection working on that? Or does it do an auto feed, an auto load, and an auto unload?
Yeah, I don't know if it's working yet. Maybe you could tell me offline how to test it, because I haven't, I've just barely got through the kind of calibration side stuff, but I haven't tried the auto load or whatever yet. Or I just stick the filament in but auto load would be you stick it in and it automatically takes it from you. I haven't tried that yet. But yeah, you told me there was some issue with the filament.
Yeah, there's a little sensor I was having trouble with. I got mine working, but I had to kind of elongate a hole and make it a little tighter tolerance. But on mine, I built the whole head, and so.
Yeah, now, just to give credit, Tig bought the newest version of that printer, the 3S, and built it from scratch. I bought a fully assembled, tested one 3 years ago, and most recently did the upgrade, which is really, I don't know what percentage of it, but it's like a much smaller work than assembling the whole printer, and much less prone to problems like misaligned axes and whatever. But it's kind of it's a good experience to go through all these this perfectly, or very well written steps and comments from all the people that have done it before. So if you read that all, it's kind of a nice experience that you don't have to think about all design. You're just following directions, and it all has been tested, and it's kind of a pleasure. It's a pleasurable experience to do something mechanical that you're kind of likely to succeed even the first time. Anyway.
Yeah, it could be frustrating though. I got 2 of my 4 printers down right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask
Uh-oh.
Walter. Walter knows probably more than most of us about building and maintaining 3D printers.
Well, I'm having problems with mine every time I change the filament. I got to recalibrate everything. So right now I changed the filament. It's not working. So I haven't had time. I haven't had time to really sit down and mess with it yet, but I will.
Yeah.
Prusa is a nice one though.
What's that?
Prusa's good.
Prusa's a good one.
What, my printer?
No, the Prusa, the one that Jim has.
Oh,
that's a good
Oh, yeah,
quality.
that's a nice one.
I paid a lot of money. That was like almost $1,000. And then the new, I think that was fully assembled. And Tig bought the kit of the new one for I think 600, right? $600 to $700.
I think it was $700, but it was like $50 off for Thanksgiving, free shipping or something. Yeah.
And so 700 instead of 1,000. So you save $300, but it takes you 15 hours to build it, right? For the full one.
Yeah, it took me
Well,
2 days to build.
One of the club members gave me a Corral 10S or 10S thing. So all I had to do is bolt the upright thing in, and it was ready to go.
Yeah, so my first printer was
That
completely
was a $600 printer I got for free, basically.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
Good.
yeah. Anyway, but so
Wasn't
that whole
expecting that.
But yeah, Prusa makes good quality
yeah,
printers.
those guys they're really good. I highly recommend Prusa if if you can afford to get into it. If you're willing to do the kit, you save a bit of money.
I had a question, like when you're making that 3D printer, is it the ones where you have a 3D pen that you could put into the 3D printer to use as the nozzle?
No, well, these are the one I have here is and Tigers. They have a heat the heat extruder, the hot end, and it's like this metal nozzle, and that there's no pen. It's like it's screwed into this heat system into the hot end, and you can change the diameter. I bought a couple of alternate diameter. Usually it's 0.4 millimeter, but essentially it's a little nozzle at the end that the filament is pushed through as it's heated up. So the pen ones are a totally different world. Those are mostly for artists, I
Well,
believe.
not really, because I have a 3D pen, and the thing is, it kind of acts like those 3D printers that are like the robotic arms, but your arm is instead of a robotic arm. So it's like more motion and freeness and everything. So maybe there's a way where you can 3D pen your own 3D printer and then use the pen for the extruder. Like that would be pretty cool.
Oh, I get it. You're talking about my whole concept of the 3D printer printing parts for itself, so that the pen could print parts for the printer, and then use the pen as the actual extruder or something. But yeah, I don't know anything about the pens.
There was a concept of one of the very original ones, the rep wrap. Was the whole idea is that you use one rep wrap to make another one, but there are metal parts. I mean, it's really hard to get away from the shafts, and bearings, and things like that. But all the little connecting and some of the bits are plastic and can be 3D printed.
Yeah, I don't know much about the pen. The pens, I didn't know. I thought the pens were mainly for freehand sort of sculpting is what I've seen, for sale, where you extrude, and the artists can make these incredible 3D sculptures, but it was not controlled by a processor or anything. It's your arm.
Well,
Well,
I
if
have
I
a-
may,
Go ahead.
sorry. Since I have a 3D pen, it acts pretty much like a 3D printer, but the difference is it's like more manual. So it's a lot less controlled and structured like a 3D printer, but you could make, if you have enough time and stuff, kind of the same stuff as the 3D printer because it acts like that, but you have a little more flexibility on size and everything.
I guess does it tell you where to, like, if how does it tell you where to go when you're like, let's say you want to make a you have this design of a little box or something, or I don't know, and
It's basically like a pen. It's just basically you put some filament in it, and then it squirts it out like it through an extruder, so that you could sort of draw, or you could trace something flat and build up from that. But it's not anywhere near the quality of a 3D printer.
Well, if
you can never get the same quality parts. Like you will never be able to get follow the same line at the same thickness. So you wouldn't have like rigid parts. It'll be kind of shaky.
True, like 3D pens shine where it's like being able to do something that a 3D printer can't, like more like scaffolding. As long as there's a structure to support it, like maybe you use a paper to draw the line up and stuff, or cardboard. But then the 3D printer has more of the precision and ability to last longer than a person because it's automated.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely, it's definitely something that that is, for people, for children certainly getting into all, that's the first way that introduce them into creating 3D things, I would think. And then, again, yeah, for adults, you get into the more advanced ones, where, if you want to do something free, like here's an example of something that would be kind of, yeah, it'd be hard to do something like this on a 3D printer with that, but it's more of a rougher type look to it.
Well, what's strange is that all these 3D pens market it as an art tool, but it's strange. It's not really an art tool to me because it's more like I don't have access to a 3D printer. I don't want to go to, say, a makerspace where, people have the pandemic and stuff. So, or maybe I want to print something really quickly and I could just draw it out and be done. And that's it. I don't have to put it on the computer and the computer model. So, to me, it's like a substitute for like easy printing, that quick, easy printing, rather than like art stuff. But they always market it as an art tool when it's more than that.
I guess the reason say it's art is because you don't have a model in your, I mean, you have to be able to translate your design through your body, through your arm into the pen. Whereas like to make something like this bicycle here, I need some art skills to do that, or because, it'd be
Well,
hard.
this is what my pen looks like.
Well, let me stop here. Oh, yeah, that's
one I got.
But you have to know what
So
you're doing.
you put the filament in here, and then I guess you can set the temperature range, low or high, and then if you push the button, and you push the button here, and it starts extruding out here.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've used it to repair some 3D model stuff that I had, or fill in something that I needed to fill in some space. Like I'm going to use it here on one of my Yoda things here. I cracked the bulge joint on the upper torso on my Baby Yoda character. So I'm going to see if I can use that and some green filament to sort of patch the crack back up, because I don't want to I don't have the time to go 3D print the same part. I already got it painted and everything.
Sounds like it's a good backup thing to have.
Yeah, a friend of mine gave me that one for Christmas, actually.
What I would say it's great for is more like if you want to use multiple colors, multiple materials, like with these you can do like flexible plastic, or you could do hard plastic, the ABS, PLA, but you can switch through them so quickly. Like you can't do that on 3D printers as of yet.
Well, I mean, actually mine has this, what's called the MMU upgrade that I might eventually get. I can have up to 5 filaments that switch on demand, and you can create a full color object. I mean, I don't know if I'd need that, because.
Well, I've seen some stuff that does three or four filaments at a time, and it just basically stacks them on top of, welds them together as you need them, and change color.
Yeah, this one, the MMU, is a multi-material thing. It's another few $100s, but it can make not just by layer, but by complete color in any direction. But yeah, it's more artistic again. It's like, why would a robot guy,
I was thinking the MMU might be useful for like lettering, like on-off switches and things like that. But it's awful expensive to pay just for that when you can label it.
Yeah, I mean, like with my printer, you can program in the slicer where you want to change color, and the printer will stop until you change the filament, and you go and change it to a different color, and then it continues. That's great for when you want like a tag, like luggage tags. I had made luggage tags, and they had the lettering, white lettering on a blue base. So I switched, at a certain layer.
But that had to be raised lettering, right?
Yeah, it's raised letter. Oh, you're talking about embedded lettering, or flush lettering.
you might be able to do embedded lettering with that
Well, I
switching.
mean, I had a friend of mine, he made a 2 or 3 color 3D printed business card.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
cool looking.
Was it flat though? You mean flat, or was it raised? You know.
Well, I had some raised lettering on it, but it's about the size of a business card, not much thicker than one.
Yeah, well, that's. I have these luggage tags. I did just, same thing, kind of.
There's a little more to it than that. Actually, it was quite detailed for what he
Oh
was
well,
doing.
not. I mean, not, yeah. I'm sure his was better.
He got it down to a science how to do it with some Steve Cook.
All right. Yeah, we're overtime, as Ben has said. So we'll wrap up, and thanks everybody for coming.
Yeah. So we're gonna do one on a Saturday next time.
So yeah, we're gonna shoot for Saturday. I'll send out the announcement.
Okay, that'd be cool.
And we'll see how it goes. And anybody has any final comments, please say.
I have a quick question.
Yes, television.
What happened to me? We were going to do a whole period full of show and tell versus lecture. Is that just different this week, or is that going to be changed? How are we going to do that?
Well, that's why at the beginning I was asking about the about speeches and lectures and all that. And again, each club can format the meeting the way they want because they're hosting. So you can do, I'd like to continue with the lecture when we can. And then essentially what it is my view is, if we have somebody that can lecture, we do that in the first week and then show and tell at the end, for the rest of the meeting. And then the second meeting is all show and tell, because I don't think we're going to get more speakers than that. But if a miracle happens and we got more speakers, then we could have a speaker every meeting. But that's not going to happen. So the best I hope for is one meeting, one speaker per month, and then the rest is all show and tell, basically, right? And then news or chatting, whatever. Does that sound?
It's fine with me.
But yeah, each club can format it if the way they want, obviously.
I guess we're up for March.
Yeah, so Riverside's up for March. And then then we'll do Tech Room again in April. So still a lot going on in the chat. 360 basics. Yes. Alan has given that lecture a few times, but yeah, we
have an announcement before we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me in Servo Magazine, they're publishing a series of articles of mine.
Oh, wow, that's cool. We'll have to look at that. Servo is online. Do you have to buy the magazine, or?
Some of it's online, some of it is in the magazine format.
Okay, well, you can probably buy it online too, I assume. That's cool. Oh, does anyone know which episode Mitch's robot was going to be in? Wasn't that Walter? I recorded them all.
I think it's coming up this Monday at 8 p.m. on Channel 2.
Oh, okay, so it is not happened yet. It has not happened.
No, I just.
What is
asked
it,
the
Walter?
guy.
What got filmed, Walter?
It's it's called The Neighborhood TV show, and Mitch and I, we worked on a robot arm for the show. So
that's cool, Walter.
So when is the show? You said next Monday?
Next Monday, 8 p.m. Channel 2. It's called The Neighborhood.
Okay, next Monday. All right, make a note.
Congratulations,
So, yeah.
Walter.
Thank you. Yeah, and the guy called me today. He wants me to do another animatronic for the show, so I might be doing some more for them.
Hey, did I send you that video? That's a really small DIY animatronic figure.
Yeah.
Of the Phantom from.
It's very cool. Yeah, a lot of work on that.
Yeah, I'm starting to replicate one.
Good. Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities all of the time for TV stuff, doing things. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
fun. It's
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
It's it's a lot of hurry up and wait and stressful, but at the end of the day, they treat you really well and they pay good, and it's nice.
Yeah, I remember when I did that one robot thing for that one show. That was interesting.
Good food. Most importantly, good coffee.
Oh yeah, the catering, man. That's it. That's the reason.
Oh yeah, movie sets are famous for catering.
The catering.
Yeah.
Except now you have to get tested for COVID every 2 days and wear masks and.
That's correct. Shield and a mask.
Shields.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the price we pay. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on Saturday. Thank you, Alan.
All
for
right.
Thank you.
Catch you later. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend.
Troopers, have a good weekend.
See you guys later.
See ya.